What's cracking, y'all? One half of the Wake Up Crew here to talk some WNBA prop bets over on PrizePicks for this Friday, June 17th WNBA slate. We got 3 games on the docket tonight: the Seattle Storm and the Connecticut Sun, the Phoenix Mercury and the Dallas Wings, as well as the Atlanta Dream versus the Chicago Sky. 3 plays that we talked about yesterday: Sabrina Ionescu and Shericka Austin. Neither of those plays hit. Natasha Cloud's assist total did cash, so 1 for 3 last night. Not good, but we're back at it today. We got the data. We've got some players and positions that we should target in these matchups. So we'll get into it right now after the intro. All right, so let's take a look at the projected starting lineups for tonight. In the Seattle game, the only one that's sort of in question right now is Sue Bird. She's a game-time decision. It looks like she's going to play, but game-time decision, so pay attention to that. And then from the Phoenix-Dallas side, all the big-name starters are still in. In the Atlanta-Chicago game, that's where we've got some outs. Erica Wheeler out, Nina Coffey, game-time decision. And Candace Parker is out, so bump up to Emma Masonman. We'll talk about her. Kalia Copper, that's a bump up for her as well as for the Seattle Storm side of the ball. Jewel Lloyd, if Sue Bird is out, is a plus for her. So just want to take a look at the projected starting lineups, any players that may be absent. And let's get into the model. And I'm going to pull up some notes here. So let's just look at these teams, right? So for tonight, if we're looking from the Dallas Wings and the Phoenix Mercury side of the game, you do not want to attack the Dallas Wings with guards. They give up the third fewest points to guards in the WNBA at about 38 per game and the fewest rebounds to opposing guards. So when you're looking at the Mercury side, I know Skylar Diggins-Smith is really good, but that'd be one I'm just not going to play. You want to attack Dallas with forwards. Dallas gives up the third most points, which is 31.4 in the WNBA, and the second most rebounds to forwards. So we've got a couple of forwards from the Phoenix side that we'll talk about. And on the other side of the court, you want to attack the Phoenix Mercury with guards. They give up the most points in the WNBA versus guards with 46.9 points and third most rebounds to guards at 11.7. So Arike Ogunbowale, we will talk about her, as well as Allisha Gray, and the Mercury are about middle of the road versus forwards. So let's take a look at Allisha Gray in the model. The model loves her fantasy score. I do as well. PrizePicks has the total at 24. We've got it projected at 28.5, as well as her points, 11.5, and we got it projected for 15.9. All of these are 80% probability to go over. She's been good over her last 5 games, averaging about 17 points and right around 28 fantasy score for Allisha Gray. I like both of these numbers. We give you the data. Don't pay for picks. Play whichever one you like. I like both of these numbers. I may play around with both, take the points on a couple of tickets, and then take the fantasy score as well. And from the Phoenix Mercury side of the ball, we talked about it, right? Let's pull back up again. You want to attack Dallas with forwards. They give up the third most points to forwards in the WNBA. And while Tina Charles is categorized as a center, she's coming off of a monster game. And I would love either of these, right? Her points at 17.5, we got her projected at 19, as well as her points, rebounds, and assists. PrizePicks has the line at 27. We got her right at 28.8. And you see the probability is a little bit lower here for Tina Charles. But Brianna Turner, right? Forward versus Dallas. We talked about that. Her rebound prop of 7.5. We have her projected at 9 rebounds over her last 5. She's averaging 9.4. And you see she's hit this number in 4 of her last 5. 9, 13, 10, 5, and 10. Really like the rebound number for Brianna Turner. So if I were going to take a forward to go against Dallas, it would be Brianna Turner. You see Tina Charles down here towards the bottom with the fantasy score. We got her projected under that fantasy score, but I'm not going to do that. She just dropped 52 in her last game, so I'm not going to do that. So from that side, from the Dallas side, we talked about Allisha Gray. Arike Ogunbowale, just a bomb scorer, right? 17.5 is the point total. Got it projected right at 18.2. 53% probability to go over. I like it. And the only thing that's really holding this down, if you look, she had a 2-pointer here a couple of games ago. But other than that, she's hit this number in 3 of her last 5. In Phoenix, again, you want to attack them with guard play. So Arike Gumbawale and Alicia Gray should be in play. Marina Mabrey as well. I know some people are over that number today for Marina, but Arike and Alicia are what I want to stay with in that matchup. So let's move on to the Seattle Storm versus the Connecticut Sun. The Storm are strong versus guards. They give up the fewest points to guards in the WNBA, and they give up the most points versus centers in the WNBA. And then on the other side of the court, the Connecticut Sun give up the third most points to guards at 44.4, fewest points given up to forwards, fewest rebounds given up to forwards, and they turn over guards the most in the WNBA at 8.7. Now, listen, here's the thing. Brianna Stewart is just a beast, right? She's a forward. Ezzy Magbagor plays that center forward position. She's more like a center. I'm not afraid of Brianna Stewart. I'm not going to play it, but you see her fantasy score right here at 35 for PrizePicks. We got her projected at 43.6. She looks good. Again, when you're talking about players you want to attack, the Sun, you don't want to really mess with the guards, right? They give up a lot of points to guards. So third most points given up to guards, that should yield well for Jewell Loyd. And if Sue Bird is out of this matchup, even more usage for Jewell Loyd. Pretty high edge, 79% to go over, 15.5 points is the prop on PrizePicks. We have her projected at 19. Jewell Loyd would be a solid play. Ezzy Magbagor right here, the highest edge to the over on the slate tonight. Her point total at 9.5. We got it projected at 12.6. She just barely missed this in the last game. She had 9, 13, 13, 12, and 19 over her last 5, averaging 13.2. Ezzy Magbagor, Brianna Stewart, Jewell Loyd all look good in this matchup. And on the Connecticut Sun side of the ball, I'll tell you right now, Jonquel Jones over her rebound prop of 7.5. She's projected for 9.3, over that 70% threshold. If I'm going to play anybody from Connecticut, Jonquel will be the play. I kind of looked at Alyssa Thomas, maybe her fantasy score. She's been diming a lot lately. Let's go look at Alyssa Thomas real quick and talk through this one. That's Mason, man. I'm going to talk about her in a minute. Let's go to Alyssa Thomas and see her assists lately. So I'm at 6, 8, 5, 12, 7, averaging 7.7. The line is 5.5, which would yield, the points, rebounds, and assists right at her average. Not going to do it. The turnovers for Alyssa Thomas, she had been turning the ball over quite a bit, protecting a little bit more. But Jonquel Jones is what I want to play in this one. If I take anybody from Connecticut, and let's just look at her rebounds. I mean, again, 9.4 over her last 5, 9, 14, 9, 8, and 7. Really, really like this play. Jonquel Jones over that 70% threshold. We'll probably add this as a core play tonight. And let's finish it out with the Atlanta Dream and the Chicago Sky, right? Atlanta gives up the 5th most points to guards in the WNBA, and they give up almost the fewest points to the fewest rebounds to guards and the 3rd fewest points to forwards. So you want to attack Atlanta with some guard play. Unfortunately, the Chicago Sky, Courtney Vandersloot, Allie Quigley, Kalia Copper could be a good spot for Kalia Copper. The Chicago Sky, 2nd fewest points given up to guards. So when we're looking at the Atlanta Dream side, we know they got some young guns. Ryan Howard, not afraid of her, but this is what the data is. 2nd fewest points given up to guards. The 4th most points they allow to forwards, and the 4th most points they allow to centers for the Chicago Sky. So again, we look at Atlanta, and remember, no Candace Parker in this one, which should be a bump up in production and usage of Emma Mason, who, if you look at her fantasy score, right, she's projected for 35.9. The prop on PrizePicks is 80% chance to go over for her. She's getting you about 1 fantasy point per minute, averaging 40.3 over her last 5. She's been on an absolute tear, and I love Emma Mason in this matchup tonight. Really, really like that for her. From the Atlanta side, I do think there's some opportunity for Cheyenne Parker to have a good game. You look at her points, rebounds, and assists at 18. Got her projected at 21.5 over that 70% threshold. And the points for Cheyenne Parker at 10.5. We've got her projected at 12.8. Again, meeting that 70% threshold. So if you're going to attack Atlanta, right? Atlanta, they give up the 3rd fewest points to forwards. I get it, right? Cheyenne Parker, forward kind of center. You may want to stay away from it, even though the model is saying it's good, it's 70% threshold. Just looking at the trend for what the Atlanta Dream have done over the course of this season, pretty tough matchup for the forwards. So again, really like Ezzy, Emma Mason, Alicia Gray, Arike Ogunbowale, Brianna Turner, her rebounds, Jonquel Jones, her rebounds look good. Maybe you play with Cheyenne Parker a little bit. Tina Charles, if you want to stay in those Tina Charles flames. And then Diamond DeShields. So we took Diamond DeShields, I believe, last game, and she did not hit her fantasy score. And what's interesting is, they've got her listed as a forward, right? Phoenix, you attack Dallas with forwards. So you got Tina Charles, Diamond DeShields, and Brianna Turner. So if the guards are going to have a tough time versus Dallas, go back to the cheat sheet, right? You don't want to attack with Dallas with guards. They give the third fewest points allowed to guards. So that should be a little tick down for Diana Taurasi and Skylar Diggins-Smith, and a bump up for Charles, Diamond DeShields, and Brianna Turner, which we do like all four of those players to a certain degree. DeShields, a little bit lower probability to go over that points, rebounds, and assist number. If I'm going to play anybody from Phoenix tonight, it will be Brianna Turner over her rebound prop of 7.5. So there it is, a little more in-depth analysis for the plays that we're looking at tonight in the WNBA. Let me know what you're playing in the comments below. If you appreciate the video, appreciate the content and what we're laying down, hit a thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments who you're playing. And as always, good luck, good night. If you tail, give PRIZEPICKS hell, and if we fail, don't bail, baby. We'll be back tomorrow. More WNBA picks. We out of this thing. Peace.